Good afternoon, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. For those of you guys that watched yesterday's video, Friday twice in a row. So hope everybody's having a good Friday. We are at the weekend finally. I was sitting there after I realized what I had done. I was like, hopefully everybody went to work today, not thinking like it's a day off, because they were thinking it was Friday maybe. Who knows? So with that being said, today, just going to kind of chat a little bit about gold and silver, only because something interesting came up. So we are going into the weekend, and I wanted to clean out my car today or this weekend. And I'm talking, I want to just do an amazing job on it. I've got too much junk in there sitting in the back seat and the trunk, the tail bed. And I said, I really want to get everything cleaned out, vacuum it, maybe even rug shampoo it and get it looking good. And I've always wanted to have it professionally detailed. So I just can't bring myself to spending the money on getting it professionally detailed. And it got me thinking about a story, it was a while ago. It was probably, 6 years ago maybe, where a buddy of mine, he actually has a detailing company, and I would always ask him, hey, what's the best you can do? Can you do it for me for $100, $100 cash? And he'd always tell me, no, I can't, man. I get $200 a car, and that's cheap. Some places $250, and I was like, man, I just can't do it. He goes, you still collecting silver? I said, I do a little bit. I have a little bit. He goes, what kind of deal can you give me? I go, I'll tell you what, you do my car for me, and I will give you 7 ounces of silver. Nice little amount. I said, 7 ounces of silver. He goes, what's it sell for an ounce right now? I said, well, technically spot price is, $16 maybe. And he's like, yeah, but that's still only $100. I'm not willing to do it for $100. I mean, I could go buy some silver from somebody else and get it at $16 if that's the going rate. I said, okay, I understand that. These are Buffaloes. They're not anything fancy. But fast forward that to today, and this is where it gets really interesting. So when I was sitting here thinking about it, today, I would only get 4 ounces. Think about that for a minute. So I'm going to take these 3 out of the equation for a quick minute, and I would give 4 ounces to get my car detailed. Why? It's still just $100. And that's okay. To this day, he's still not going to do it for $100. He's probably definitely not going to want to do it for 4 ounces of silver, because the mentality for a lot of people is, oh, I don't want to pay that much. I don't want to pay that much. There's, at a certain point, there's some people out there that they hear about it, gold and silver, and they just never really pull the trigger on it. The price keeps going up. They see it going up, and they never pull the trigger. And, here's the thing. When it comes to something like that, I'm convinced that, if that guy told me, I'm not willing to do it at that, but then he went out and say he bought some silver back then with the money from another car detail, maybe a $200 detail, and all of a sudden he took that money and he bought silver, I would say, he did the right thing, in my opinion. In my personal opinion, it don't matter whether how you get it, whether you trade it, whether you buy it or whatever. If you've got some physical silver or a little bit of physical gold, you're probably going to be all right no matter what happens. But here's what's happening. That $100 now gets you 4 ounces. And pretty soon it's going to get you 3. And at a certain point, it's going to get you 2. And then at a certain point, it's only going to get you 1. Now, I know some people will make the joke about, come on now, 1 ounce, that's $100 ounce of silver. That's impossible. Maybe we'll see $25, $30 in the next year. Maybe 35 in the next few years. I think people are looking at it all wrong. I honestly believe that. Here's the thing. To a certain point, we don't know what is going to be the catalyst to drive the price of precious metals up, whether that be silver or gold. I have theories. That we're going to continue to print money. We're going to continue to essentially, I don't want to say ruin the economy, but the more money you print, the more we have inflation. And inflation, some people will tell you, oh, 2% inflation is good. 2% inflation is not good. Inflation is bad. Oh, but it shows growth. You know what? I don't want to show growth. I want to keep my prices right where they are. I want to be able to buy whatever I want to buy for the same price. Why do I need growth? And what does that do for the younger people that don't have anything to show growth of? They don't own a house. They can't afford a house now. They don't own a whole lot of land or assets, maybe 401ks. Who really gets rich off of inflation? You know, the government gets to print the money, and essentially they get first crack at it. So yeah, they're getting a deal, because as soon as they unload that money, that inflated money on the system, it's technically worth less not too far after. And then who else? Well, let's look at it. Yeah, your assets go up. Your house maybe went up in value. Your 401k went up in value. But at some point, you've got to sell it. You've got to cash out. And then what happens? Well, Uncle Sam makes more money off of it because you made a profit. You know, think about how much money they make off capital gains and stuff. I mean, you know, it doesn't add up to me. How, and then they want to tell you, oh, inflation is only 2%, but 2% is good, or 3%. We're a little over what we want. They're not a little over. By the time you take out the stuff that's being bought the most, I mean, let's take a look. Our inflation doesn't include food. It doesn't include energy. I'll be honest, those two items are the things I spend the most money on. I mean, most of you probably would agree that most of your paycheck, I won't say all, but if you were to factor out every dollar you spend over the next month, because I have done this, the majority of my money goes to energy and food. So they had to take that out of there because that's where everybody's money's going. I'm not buying designer clothes. I don't care if the price of designer clothes comes down. It doesn't affect me. But what does affect me is every time I go fill up my car. Every time I fill up, and the price is even higher, that stings. And I mean, there's no way around it. I got to fill up twice a month, maybe. Sometimes I'll fill it up 3 times a month if I'm doing more driving or I want to keep it full because of everything going on. You know, I get nervous having an empty tank or a low tank because a blink of an eye, things can change. And food. I mean, everybody buys food. You've got to eat. And here's the thing. I'm not going out eating. I'm not eating out every day. So it's kind of interesting how people see these numbers and they buy it. They believe it. You know, we continue to see precious metals go up. There's no stopping it. Someone left me a comment earlier today and he's like, I could agree with gold because when I was younger, I was buying gold, and look at it now, clearly a big increase. But you know what? 25 years ago, when I was buying gold, I look at silver and what was it? $16? That's what the person told me. It was $16 and it ain't far away from it now. I said, you need to recheck that math. 25 years ago, silver was not $16. And today, silver is not $16. Right now, spot price on silver is trading at $22.80 roughly. $22.80, I think it is. And gold is trading at $2,030 roughly right now at the time of filming this in the middle of the night. You know, people just don't realize, and there's a lot of negativity out there. I did a video on that a little while back that, you know, people just don't really understand metals. What they believe is that this is money. But little by little, people are taking these gift certificates, I'm going to call them, and they are adding it, spending it, and turning it in for sound money. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. See, they used to have the word U.S. debt note on here, but they actually took that off, I guess. Oh, no, U.S. Federal Reserve note, Federal Reserve note. Yeah, I guess they don't say it anymore. But here's the thing. When you look up note, what do you think of? When I say the word note, what usually comes up? Well, a car note, home note. It's usually a loan, essentially. And so when you call this a note, I mean, this is an IOU. It's an IOU, but here's the thing. It's just a verbal IOU. It ain't backed to gold anymore. I mean, yeah, they might put the ink pen and the gold, all this fancy on here just to try to convince people. I remember when this first came out, I was working in the oil fields, and everybody's like, does this mean we're going back to the gold standard? Is that what that is? That's a sign of that? They're printing all new money? It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. Do I think a day could come? Absolutely. But is it going to be today? No. It's not going to come until something drastic happens. And they're probably going to try to roll out central bank digital currencies first. Why? Because they can control central bank digital currency. But I kind of sometimes wonder if they won't go back on a gold standard first, a gold and silver standard, and then let something major happen, like the 1929 crash, and then say, well, this is why we need to use central bank digital currencies, so we can control the money better. So people can't run out and sell their gold or take it over to another country or whatever the case may be. It's here, it's here. People are just missing the big point that this stuff right here, it doesn't matter what's on it, whether it's an Indian, whether it's a kangaroo, this is gold. And it has been gold and silver. This is sound money. And it has been sound money from the beginning of time. People have always recognized gold. The idea that, oh, you can't eat it. You know what? There's a lot of things you can't eat. You can't eat medical supplies. You can't eat ammo. You can't eat all kinds of stuff. But people still buy that stuff. The thing is, this stuff's limited. There's only so much of it out there. And once you realize that, then you realize that essentially we need some sort of limited money to keep them in check from overspending. Otherwise, they're going to continue to overspend, and there's not really anything that anybody can do about it. So with that being said, please, I hope you took a quick minute to hit that thumbs up button. I meant to say it in the beginning of the video. That could hurt me because I forgot to say it. And a lot of times people forget to hit it. I try to always remember to say it. But if you're watching this, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm curious. What was silver when you first started stacking? Like I said, it was 7 ounces for $100 back then. Now, there's more money in the system, but I'm only getting 4 ounces of sound money. And soon there's going to be even more, and I'll probably be getting 2 as the money supply doubles again. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I can't wait to read your comments. I hope to see you guys again on T-Square Talk. And hit that thumbs up button for me. Help me out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Y'all have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.